I have identified 7 different things that riders, both inexperienced as well as experienced riders, things that we take for granted, things that give us a false sense of security, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, this video was inspired by a question that I received from a subscriber, and this question is, do full-face helmets give new riders a false sense of security? Now, that's kind of a loaded question to me because it implies that a helmet can give you a false sense of security. I don't think they can. A helmet can only do what it can do, which is to give you an opportunity to walk away from an otherwise survivable accident. And it can also give you an opportunity to survive some accidents that are kind of borderline, some of the more dangerous ones. In fact, I found some statistics on the interwebs where it said that in some accidents, or some motorcycle accidents, a helmet can increase your odds of survival by 35%. Now, are those great odds? I'd say heck yeah, they are. It's better than zero. I also searched the interwebs and I asked the question, how far can a human being fall and survive? And I found a very interesting article that I'm going to share with you, share a paragraph with you. And in this article, it says, normally not very far, people usually survive falls from a height of about 25 feet. But above that, things get very deadly very fast. A study done in 2005 in Paris, they looked at 287 fall victims and found that falls above 98 feet are 100% fatal. Now, that was shocking to me. I would have assumed it was 100% fatal a whole lot lower than that. However, I found another article that talked about an incident that happened some years later involving a rock climber that fell 300 feet onto a solid rock and survived. They were wearing a helmet. So helmets do make a difference. Now, in terms of motorcycles, it's not, there's a lot more factors that go into it. Things like speed, your experience, the road conditions, the condition of your motorcycle, as well as a whole lot of other factors that are out of our control: animals, children, objects in the road, and dangerous drivers. But there is no safety gear that will provide you 100% odds of survival in an accident. That's just not possible. But a well-trained rider that's riding within his means, riding within the conditions of the road and the environment that they're in, the safety gear gives you a better chance of surviving, and it also gives you an opportunity to walk away with fewer injuries and reducing the severity of injuries that you might otherwise receive. Now, before I get started, I want to recognize a sponsor for Riding and Wrenching, Volunteer Audio. Reach out to Jay, let him know that you heard about it here on Riding and Wrenching, and he will provide you, he didn't give them away, but he'll provide you with an audio system that will knock your socks off. So what I've got behind me today is 7 exercises that I'm going to run through. I'm also going to talk about these 7 things that riders, both new and experienced, things that we take for granted, things that give us a false sense of security. I have run into so many riders, well, I haven't run into them, but I have met so many riders that will tell me and brag about how many years of experience they have. Some will say I started riding when I was 10 on a dirt bike. Some say that I've been taught by family members and we've been riding forever. And a lot of those same people cannot execute simple maneuvers. They can't do U-turns, they can't do tight U-turns. They'd rather duck walk their bikes. And duck walking is probably okay for a lot of situations, but sometimes that's not good enough. Sometimes it's safer to stay on the bike and be able to execute a maneuver. Watching YouTube videos should be something that inspires you to go out and practice. It should be something that inspires you to take classes and learn more about the things that are available, learn more about accessories that are available for your bike. But what a YouTube video cannot do is increase your skills just from watching it. You've got to practice. And it's best to take classes. It's best to practice with other people that can help identify weaknesses in your riding. It'll make you a better and safer rider. And those YouTube videos can supplement the things that you're doing on the bike. You might hear that person that's ridden the 4 corners or rode I-10 all the way to the end, or maybe they rode to Sturgis once. That does not make you a great rider. It doesn't make you a safe rider. The fact of the matter is, a motorcycle going in a straight line needs very little input from the rider. In fact, there's a whole bunch of pictures and videos on the interwebs of people that will put their feet up and put their hands behind their head and relax, because the motorcycle's in cruise control and it can ride in a straight line as long as there's clear road in front of it and it has gasoline. The motorcycle does not need you at high speeds, but at slow speeds, that's all about skill. That's all about the rider. And the best way to get these skills is to take classes. Now, there's different types of peer pressure. There's peer pressure that you put on yourself by watching other people. Maybe you're one of those people who've been riding for a long time, and you see some guy like me who's been riding for only a handful of years, but took a whole bunch of classes and practices a lot. Maybe you think that, well, if he can do it, then I should be able to do it. Or maybe you're riding through some twisty roads and you see people riding fast, and well, if they can do it, so can I. Well, maybe you can't. Maybe they're lucky. So peer pressure can be a dangerous thing. You know, ride your own ride and don't worry about what someone else is doing. Focus on improving your own skills and for you to become a better rider, and ride your motorcycle to the best of your ability within the limits of what that motorcycle can do. Helmet laws can give you a false sense of security, either states that have them, states that don't. When I'm in states that don't have helmet laws, you see people riding around, some with no safety gear at all. I've seen people riding around with shorts and flip-flops on. No helmet, no shirt, no jeans, nothing. They're just cruising around, shirts and flip-flops. And I'm never going to do that. But you can get a false sense of security because you see so many people doing it. And so if all of these people are riding around without helmets and safety gear, why do I need to wear safety gear? What's the point? Having helmet laws might also give you a false sense of security, because maybe you think, you know, like the person asked me, that that helmet makes you immune to getting hurt. You can still get hurt, because a helmet cannot take the place of stupid riding. We've got to ride safe, we've got to ride smart, we have to ride trained. And so be careful of peer pressure, and a helmet law should not be required to get you to ride safe or to wear the type of gear that you need. I've heard from so many different people, and I believe it to be true, that sport bikes are involved in more serious injury than touring bikes. But does that mean because I'm on a touring bike that I'm safer than being on a sport bike? Well, the answer to that is no. It's all about the rider. It really doesn't matter what type of motorcycle you ride. It's how much experience you have. It's how much training you've received. It's how much practice that you do. That's what makes the difference, and that's what's going to make you a safer rider, not the type of motorcycle you ride. And last but not least, I can't have a list like this without bashing millennials or young people. Your youth makes you bulletproof in your mind. The fact of the matter is that you're not. There are so many sad stories about young riders who likely are influenced by their youth to think that they can do everything. Well, you can't. You can't. Your youth does not take the place of experience, training, and practicing. You've got to do those things to become a safe rider. In fact, if you're young and you ride motorcycles, you should do those things so that you can become an old motorcycle rider. It'll keep you alive. If there's some things that I missed, leave me a comment in the comment section. What are some things that give riders a false sense of security? This is Q. I'm riding, I'm wrenching, and I am out.